versions of me that I'm not so proud of. All right, let's go ahead and do this. I figured, let me make some matcha and yap at the same time. No script. I'm kind of just doing this at random. So if you want to listen in, listen in. I got this beautiful cup from a colleague. It says, sometimes you forget that you're awesome. So this is your reminder. And then I got this matcha from India. It's not the greatest. The color is actually not that vibrant, and it's decent. And the tea that I got from a friend. So I'm gonna go ahead and make that tea, make a blend, boil some water. So I'm thinking about what I should yap about today. And as I was putting moisturizer on my face, I was like, oh, I remember having a conversation with a coworker, and I was talking about like how I was as a leader in the past, and I like cringe at all the things that I would do and how I behaved. I definitely have come a long way. And they responded, if you can cringe at your old self, that shows growth. That's a good thing. And I paused and I was like, yeah, I mean, that makes a lot of sense. If I'm able to cringe at myself, that means I'm realizing and recognizing my behaviors, good or bad, and how it impacts people. And yeah, occasionally from time to time when my mind would think about the past or the future, and when it goes into the past, I think about old versions of me, and oh, it's just not the prettiest. I hate to admit, just I was very reactive. I had a hard time regulating my emotions, regulating my nervous system. I was pretty impulsive. Yeah, I didn't have a lot of tools that I have now with breathing exercises, meditation, yoga, journaling. Um, I do therapy. So there's a lot of things that I practice now that I didn't practice. I had no clue how to go about regulating my system. It was just a hot mess. So I'll take a little over scoop here. Anywho, cringe. Oh, the past 2 years I spent it on having conversations with those that I've hurted, people close to me. Yeah, and it's very uncomfortable because, you know, with the ego. Soak my tea here. I'm gonna soak it for a few seconds and then just rinse it out a little bit. And then soak it again. And I like this taste of like the flower tea with my matcha. The creamer that I'm using at the moment is this one, coconut creamer. Yeah, so back to what I was saying. I spent the past couple years having those hard conversations with people about like, hey, you know, I'm cringing the things that I would do back then, and if I've hurted you in some ways, I'm sorry, like please forgive me. I had to do that first with my partner. Unfortunately, he got the most of these parts of me because he's the person that's closest to me. So yeah, I started off with pizza, and I called it all. I named it. I mean, I didn't give specific details, but I was being brutally honest with how I behaved, that I'm not proud of myself, and that if I've harmed you in any way, I'm sorry. It was a tough conversation. I had to like write it down and read it to him. And yeah, that was crazy thinking about it. But yeah, I had the conversation with family members, my in-laws, and my family. Yeah, and again, I'm continuing to make mistakes, but I notice them a lot quicker, and I'm able to regulate a lot quicker, and make mistakes less often now that as I'm growing and healing. And it's constant work. I can't just do all the yoga, meditation, all the things that help me, and then once I feel like I'm good, I can stop. No, life is still happening. I'm still going through hard things, and these are practices that I have to continue doing in order to maintain this regulated nervous system. And saying sorry is not easy. It's not easy, especially if it's something that I haven't been practicing. I remember as siblings, I would get into fights with my siblings, and my parents would like sit us down and force us to apologize to each other. And that was like my exposure to apologies and owning up. But it kind of felt forced, and I didn't really have like a process to think about what I did wrong and then apologize. I was kind of like forced to apologize right away. And so it's something that I had to learn growing up and owning up to my faults. But yeah, it's crazy how I see it around me often, that, you know, we like to just put things under a rug and avoid it and ignore it. And I feel like I'm moving in a direction of owning up, of taking accountability, of honesty, clarity, being clear. It just feels a lot better in my body that I can move in this way, and that there aren't any like lingering emotions on me. I'm not sure if any of this is making sense, but it is coming to me, and I felt like, let me just talk about it. I'm gonna soak my whisk just a little bit, get it to soften up. Pour my flower tea into the matcha and whisk. Yeah, cringe at my old self, versions of me that I'm not so proud of. And it's a part of the journey. It was a part of my journey for me to learn and grow from it. I understand that now, and it just takes a little bit of grace, having compassion for myself, because I can beat myself up for making mistakes and coming out of my character. And yeah, especially with being a mom, being a wife, yeah, being a daughter, a sister. Yeah, these roles that I have in my life, I tend to mess up sometimes. And yeah, taking accountability, owning up to it, it's becoming more easy now that I'm practicing it and applying it in my life. Ooh, this color isn't the best. This creamer is pretty sweet, so I add a lot of ice and tea in it to make it less sweet. Let's try it. Ooh, yeah, it's sweet. Okay, let me rinse this cup a little bit with the remaining matcha in here. Yeah, but thanks for listening. My little yap session and matcha. Thank thinking about doing these more frequently. I had a family member who told me she liked listening to them, so I was like, okay, whatever comes to me, I guess I'll yap about it. I'll see you at the next one. Bye.